Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd of the year 2024. Share the video, like the video, share the video, like the video, hit that bell button on YouTube, hit that like button on Facebook, and hit that heart button on hit that heart button on X. Hit that heart button on X. As you guys know, we are live right now in our city of Tijuana. And we are, um, hold on. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much. A few seconds right there to send a text. Okay. This is the most, you know, I don't have any words. The worst. Let me just start off by this to the American people. For me, is the worst president in history. There's no other president in history. Sorry about that. The electricity. Uh, we had a problem right here with the electricity. We had an electricity shutdown right now in the house, and it just went off and then came back on, and then it went off. So let's go back to what we were. Look at this, and I'm still live because I'm connected to the internet of my phone. I was connected to the internet of the house, and we're having these up and down electricity shutdowns continuously over here in Tijuana. I don't even know what is going on. For people to understand how things are over here. We've been having these electricity shutdowns, continuously. We don't know what's going on. They already complained to the government what is going on. But a lot of people say, light a candle. No, no, no. We got Jesus, man. So there's no problem with it. Not today, Satan. Not today. Let's go back to the topic. Obama. To me, it is the worst president possibly in history. To me, to me. And he has been going on these rallies because these are kicks under the water. They know that they're losing. They know that their political party is a complete trash. They know that Kamala Harris needs help now more than ever. Like it's not even that they do not need help. It is that they need help. They need help more than ever right now. You have killed Clinton and you have all these. Today they had Eminem. Also, they had Eminem on. Thank you so much. Money Schultz bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. But coffee is right there, pinned in the chat. I greatly appreciate you guys for helping me. And you have all these celebrities trying to come in and trying to help the Democratic Party because it's completely destroyed. Black Americans are turning their backs right now on the Democrats. Hispanic Americans are turning their backs on the Democrats. Nobody has put attention to one vote, and it is Asian Americans. Asian Americans also. They grotesquely detest the Democrat Party right now. They're all leaving part. And this disgusting individual I'm putting right here on the screen, he went on this speech, and I will put his speech on the line so we can discuss about it. But I want to make a point about, this the most president that has ever coexisted, possibly in American history. For me, a lot of people are going to say, I have this one, I have that one. You know, um, it's just bad. Bad. Problems with the sound? No, I don't think that there's problems with the sound. It's possibly on your side. Uh, it is possibly the signal. It is not the sound. So it is just bad. This guy was completely horrible for the American people, for the country. For me, it is the worst president ever that has ever sit in the White House. For me, it is the worst president ever who has ever sat down in the White House. And I will tell you this: it's all talk, no walk. It's all talk, no work. It's all talk, nothing gets done. It's all talk, and it is all lies. This is what's the Democratic Party has become this, a complete disgraceful political party, progressive liberal party. And it looks like, and it feels like, that the Democratic Party, it is run by none other than this guy. And it seems like, and it looks like, the one that has been running the country, it is this guy. And it seems like, and it looks like, the one that is going to be taking the decisions, if God forbid the Democrats win, it is going to be this guy. So I want you to listen to this soundbite, this clip. Sorry, this clip. And I want you to, I want to, we have this, we need to open our eyes over the reality of this lies of these people. This is why I'm doing this video, for everybody to go out there and vote early. Cast your vote, be a patriot, go out there and exercise your constitutional right. And you also can be just recording outside of, of the limitation and limits, where you can analyze if they're cheating or not, if they're doing something irregular, immediately denounce it to the authorities. And that's the way that you can help. Let's hear this video so you guys can just throw up in your mouth right now. And for everybody that is watching, not suitable for children. I'm saying this not because Barack Obama is going to say something out of line or some profanity language. I don't think that you want your child to listen to this guy, and for your child later on to be like, who was that guy that someday you were putting on the screen and I was listening to him and I'm curious about it. No, let's make this history be by in the American history, because this guy, it is the worst for me in my perception, the worst president ever that has ever stepped into the White House. And look at the lies that he is purposely doing, campaigning right now for tampon and never going to the wall Harris. This is broad.
It's an example of how frustrating as politics can be sometimes. And I know it can be frustrating. Look, I do not watch cable news. I really don't. I, there are times where I just I don't understand how we got so toxic and just so divided and so bitter. And I get why sometimes people just don't want to.
Hold on. Lord, before I open my mouth, let the words that are going to come out of my mouth with this statement of this hypocritical, satanic individual, for my words to be gentle and to not say a profanity word. Lord, please protect whatever I'm saying. Let me just return the video so you can hear the blasphemy that this guy just said.
And I know it can be frustrating. Look, I do not watch cable news. I really don't. I, there are times where I just I don't understand how we got so toxic and just so divided and so bitter. And
I can tell you why. I can tell you why the American people are so toxic, bitter, and divided. And I could legitimately tell you, Barack, I can legitimately tell you why the American people got so toxic and so divided. First and foremost, you stepping into the White House was the first thing that divided that country. The first thing that happened to become toxic and bitter. You bring in, first and foremost, this transgenderism ideology and gender ideology into the American population to make them adapt themselves into this progressive liberalism that you implemented. This seed, it was not nobody else. It was you, man. It was not nobody else. It was you. You were the one that gave billions of dollars to Iran. Iran, the same one that has a proxy that is Hezbollah and Hamas, that they are using your money to buy equipment and to terrorize the world. It was your fault. It was nobody else. You're the one that created a cartel war with Mexico. And because of your policies of Fast and the Furious that you implemented to codify artillery to give to the cartel in Mexico, you created the most deadliest war with governments against the cartel. And it is where hundreds of Mexicans and innocent Mexicans got killed. You want to know why you're so divided and bitter? You created the worst, most racist policy of immigration in history. Instead of helping, you divided. You promised that you were going to help the people from DACA. How's that going, by the way, until now? You promised that you were going to help the farmers, that they are working illegally or undocumented in the land of the United States of America. And you promised that you were going to create a better immigration policy for people to get adapted, and possibly you were going to create, possibly you said this, you were going to create the pathway for undocumented individuals to get to citizenship. Same copy paste speech that Joe Biden is using and that Kamala Harris is using, and that you have used Latinos to win your political gain in votes. And what you did, Barack, you deported massively, even innocent individuals. And I will tell you something that you haven't said. There's a lot of deported individuals that they served in the United States Army and in the Marines. They had their residence and they promised them that they were going to give them their citizenship, and they committed a felony. Instead of you giving them their citizenship and they can actually time, what do? Deported all. And all of these people was a mass deportation under your belt. Not only you were the head deporter in chief of Latinos and Hispanics that you divided, you created the most impressive prison system, private prisons. The administration who built more private prisons in the United States, just look at it. You were part of it. As a matter of fact, you had a huge agreement with the CCA, the CCA, the GOs, and the MCCs. All of these federal detention centers, they were packed with illegal entries and illegal re-entries, which you were massively deported in a business that it was going in and around, in and around, in and around. Not only that, you created the worst deportation tactic. Why am I saying this? Because there was nobody else. Wake up, Hispanic liberal. And we already know the white liberal Disgusting. But the Hispanic liberal, wake up. The one that built the cages, the one that built the cages for children to get deported was none other than right here. This man right here. Nobody else. Before you go and get your feelings hurt with the speech of Trump coming down to the elevator and saying Mexico is not sending their best, when he was referencing to the bad people that they're coming in, not the good people. And he was referencing to the government, not the Mexican people. But, we already know CNN, MSNBC, Democracy Now!, The Daily Beast, Al Jazeera, ABC, CBS, how they flip everything around. But let me go to that. To all of you that you want to find your logic, let's go back to that speech. Mexico is not. They're coming rapists. And bad people they're coming in. Sorry about this. People got their feelings hurt with that. A lot of people got their feelings hurt with that. You go to what is happening right now. A lot of people are coming in. I'm a pro-migrant myself. I believe the migration is a human right, and those human rights, you have a law and you have a process that you need to obey. But there's a lot of bad people coming in. And not because of bad apple, you're going to burn every Latino. No. I understand that. There's a lot of good people coming in that they want to work. But this is the system that you created. Let's go back to the speech, to all the Hispanic liberals. So you're getting your feelings hurt because a guy said Mexico is doing their best. But you don't get your feelings hurt when a guy basically massively deports all the people that are undocumented in the United States of America, and he separated more hundreds of thousands of families, and he incarcerated children, and he created the worst war of cartel between the limitations of Mexico and the United States. And now this, I'm sorry for the word, this incompetent individual, it is asking, why are we so toxic? Why are we so divided? Why are we so bitter? You are Marxist, man. You are a Marxist. And because you are a Marxist, your strategy is to divide. This is what the liberals have done. They project everything that they're saying. Everything that they're saying. Let's even go to how do we got so divided and how we got so toxic and how do we got so bitter. What have you done with Antifa? Burning cities. What have you done with Black Lives Matter? Rioting and looting. What have you done with the LGBTQ plus movement? Drag queen shows in kindergarten? Abortion till you're like 8 months of old, 8 months of pregnancy. You're asking, why are we so divided? That's the question. You're actually, this is the cynical part of it. You're breaking up. I got bad signal, man. I'm sorry. I got bad signal. Let me just see if I can get good signal, man. There's a lot of people complaining about the signal. I got bad signal. There's no other way, and this is the only way. Let me see if I can get a good signal, and I will come back. Let's see if we are doing better now. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. This guy, the cynical thing about this guy, to go on a public space and to go on a public platform and to say, I don't know how we got so divided. I don't know how we got so bitter. I don't know how we got so toxic. It is so easy. It is you. You advocating for these political figures like in Congress, Rashida Tlaib, hating the United States flag, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, blaming everything on the environment, Ilhan Omar, hating the American flag. You're advocating for these people. Veronica Escobar, hating the flag, advocating for these people. Chuck Schumer, just releasing money that he doesn't even have. You're advocating for these people. Jerry Nadler calling immigrants illegal immigrants, a word that you condemn, and your own political party is calling it. You're supporting these kind of people. These are your people. It is not nobody else. It is you. And you're really smart when you speak. You're one of the most smartest people to speak to people that they do not know what you're doing. We, on the other hand, we know what you're doing. This is a manipulation tactic that you know how to use. You make fun of your opponent, then you make your point across, and then you bring the drama. After you hook the people with your drama, you bring them in and you so-called bring a solution. It is a manipulation tactic that you have become a master of it. And a lot of these people have incredibly believe everything that you're saying. After 8 years of horrific government that you did, after 8 years of dividing the population, after 8 years of not doing anything for the Black Americans, you're coming on a public stage and telling everybody, I don't know how we got so toxic. I don't know how we got so bitter.
I get why sometimes people just don't want to pay attention to it. And we all have friends like that. We have family members who just like, it's all a circus out there. I get that. But elections really do matter. Who you vote for matters. Not because it's gonna change every problem we got. No president, no vice president, no senator, no governor is going to solve every problem. We're not going to eliminate poverty overnight. We're not going to change, race relations right away.
Wow. Holy moly. You guys hearing that? Let me just backtrack this part. This is so important for everybody to understand.
Who you vote for matters. Not because it's going to change every problem we got. No president, no vice president, no senator, no governor is going to solve every problem. We're not going to eliminate poverty overnight. We're not going to change, race relations right away.
Wow.
We're born into history, and change takes time, and
wow.
And so sometimes I think we expect so much, and then we're disappointed when everything's not immediately solved.
Do we have a? Let me just give you something for you, Barack. Do you remember a guy by the name of Martin Luther King? I know that you do. I know that you do. And Martin Luther King stood in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And the speech, I Had a Dream, is basically you are stepping all over it. You're completely destroying the dreams of children, the dreams of the youth, the dreams of a woman that is going into college and saying, I want to be a doctor. The dreams of a young man going into college and saying, I want to be a lawyer. The dreams of a woman going into school, saying, I want to be a nurse. The dreams of another individual going into, to study human rights and saying, I want to defend the most vulnerable. The dreams of people to say, I want to be a successful entrepreneur. The dreams of an individual who came from the ghetto to be a successful businessman. What you just did with this part, you just burn all of those people that had dreams with your reality check. You just stepped all over Martin Luther King's speech. I had a dream. You don't have a dream. You don't have a vision of where America needs to be. You don't have a vision of how America needs to be. You don't have a vision. You don't have a dream. You're not a leader. You just publicly speak really good. But you're not a dream. You don't have a dream. You don't know how America needs to go. You don't have a solution for the people that they're suffering right now to put food on the table. Because your inflation, it is causing all of this. You don't have a solution for the guy that is working more than 48 hours a week, extra time, every day, burning time, not even having time for their kids to check them and see how they're doing in school, how they're doing with the mom, how they're doing if they're coming back home or if they're hanging out in the corner. You just told everybody that's not going to happen. You just told everybody that is suffering right now in a bad neighborhood with a gang violence that that's not going to change. No, it's going to take a long time. Nobody can change that. Just told everybody about racial issues, and the ones that always bring the race issue, it is you, nobody else. We don't care about the color of his skin. I don't care if I hang out with a white dude. I don't care if I sit down at a table with a black dude. I don't care if I sit down with everybody sitting down in a table. I don't care if there's somebody wearing a hijab and is sitting down right there. We'll say good evening. If somebody is a Muslim and sitting over here, hey, how you doing, man? How you doing? You want some food? I don't care if the guy is Jewish and he's like, hey, man, you want a taco? I don't care if the guy is Christian. Hey, man, you want a taco? This is the thing about you, Barack. You don't believe in the number one thing that we believe, that is Jesus. Jesus never judged nobody by the color, never by the poverty, never by who they were. And he had a dream to die for our sins, to do everything for the world. There's a solution, man. It's called Jesus. He's the solution. Faith. He is the solution. The same guy that in the Harris rally, you said you're in the wrong rally. That same guy that you denied, he is the solution for the problem that you're looking for. He's the absolute solution for everything. But because you don't believe in him, you can't find a solution for peace. You can't find a solution for race. You can't find a solution for poverty. Jesus was poor. He was not rich. And he had the power and knowledge of believing in the Father. Jesus was not rich. He was rich here and he was rich here. The most beautiful man that ever walked this planet. He's teaching you what the solution is. And you do not have it because that, you don't have it in your brain, brother. It's lost. You're lost. You're a globalist. There is a solution. Martin Luther King had the solution. Good presidents along in the United States of America have had the solution. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the only solution that it will completely resolve everything, it is Jesus. And you have never mentioned his name. You have never mentioned his name once. Not even once. You want to know who's divided? Why are you so toxic? You don't have Jesus in your life, man. You don't have faith. Even if you don't have Jesus in your life, if you had faith in the Creator, in God, you will have the solution. Let me tell you an example. Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, he said, we had two problems in El Salvador. We had a gang that it was the most deadliest gang in the world. We were the most insecure country in the world. And we had two problems. One of them, to eliminate and eradicate this gang, was to go one on one with them. And we knew that we were going to lose some officers. That was my main fear, he said. But the other one, the other war, was the easiest one. And the Tucker Carlson asked Nayib Bukele which was the other war that he was talking about. And Nayib Bukele said, spiritual war. We knew that the enemy was Satan. And we were like, that's so easy to beat. He said, that's so easy to beat. We only need God. Leave it alone. That's so easy to beat. That's the solution. You don't have it, Barack, because you don't believe in Jesus. You don't believe in the solution. You had the solution all the time. That's the solution all the time. He will bring unity and love and prosperous life. But you don't have it. You don't want to push that narrative. And it's okay. A lot of people, they're not Christian. They're atheists. They're not this. They're not that. You're not trying to rub the religion in the throats of everybody. No, no, no. I'm talking about you, brother. You having the solution for the people. You having the solution for poverty. You having the solution for inflation, for gas prices, for putting food on the table, for raising the money of the people that are low income, making a better salary for the farmers, making a better salary for the Black Americans, for Hispanic Americans, for every American. It's not about color. It's about making a country great, whether you like it or not, man. It is a great slogan. Make America great again. It is a beautiful slogan. Whatever you like it, and if you don't like it, it is a great slogan. And that's the number one issue. That is the number one issue with you. You're saying you don't have the solution? The solution has always been there. For every human being that ever walked this planet, follow me and I will show you the way. What a horrible speech. You were railing me in, man, because I'm not a Democrat. You know, my dad is a Reagan Republican. My mom is a Reagan Republican. I got a lot of family members that they're Reagan Republicans. I was raised in a Reagan Republican household. I don't believe in political parties in Mexico. I don't trust them. For me, all of them, they're the same. But I was raised believing on Reagan Republicans. And I will tell you something, man. You're really far away from being a leader like Reagan. Really far away. And you're trying so hard at this point. At this point, you're trying so hard to convince people to vote for Kamala Harris when she denied in front of hundreds, not thousands, because you had a small crowd of people, the name of Jesus King. Jesus is King. It is unbelievable that you're asking, what is the solution? At this particular point and juncture, that is the most preoccupying thing about you. If you go to a Trump rally, he will tell you, this is what we're going to do with the economy. We're going to do this with the border. We're going to correct this. We're going to give the power to law enforcement. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Horrible job at the Biden administration. But if we go to your rally, let me just put it right here, back again. This is what we are going to hear. What we are going to hear is that you don't have a solution. In the other rallies, they have
all a circus out there. I get that. But elections really do matter. Who you vote for matters. Not because it's going to change every problem we got. No president, no vice president, no senator, no governor is going to solve every problem. We're not going to eliminate poverty overnight. We're not going to change, race relations right away. We're born into history, and
Isn't it unbelievable? He doesn't have the solution. If you go to a Trump rally, possibly you don't agree with it. You're going to say all these radicals, all these extremists, all these MAGA. But on the other hand, you will hear solutions, man. You will hear people saying this is what we need to do. With you, on the other hand, if you have a young teen that is 16, 17 years of age and saying, I want to go into politics, mom. I want to try to be a politician. And then the mom, she's a Democrat, and says, listen to this guy. He was the best speaker. And she puts this clip when even the child is looking up to him and saying, Mom, this is the guy. Yes, play it. Play it. And he hears, nobody will have the solution. You can't fix poverty overnight. You're not going to fix race relations in the middle of the night. It's like, what am I doing? Where am I going? That's what I'm trying to fix. So you're basically telling me that it's never going to get fixed? This clip, it is so important for everybody to understand. A lot of people saying this is who's running the show. A lot of people say this is who's running the show, and I believe that he's still running the show. But on the other hand, I can tell you, he doesn't have a solution still because he doesn't want to. There's a comment right here. Abraham Gastelum says, I don't like politicians in Mexico. They're very corrupt. Have you looked at your politicians lately in the U.S.? Not justifying the Mexican politicians. I understand your point. But have you looked to your politicians lately? What do you think? That they don't know what is massively happening with the cartel in the borders? You think Gavin Newsom doesn't know of the hundreds of thousands of Asians and Chinese people crossing the border? Potential terrorists? Tren de Agua gang members? If we go to Arizona, the leftist Democrat governor, what do you think? That she doesn't know who's coming in and who's coming out and who controls the border? If you go to New Mexico, another leftist governor, what do you think? That they don't know who's running the borders? No. They're saints, right? If we go to Texas, why Governor Abbott took so long to fix the problem? There was a lot of pressure. How far away and how far different are the Mexican politicians as corrupt as the U.S. border politicians? Question mark. And not only the U.S. politicians. Mayor Adams, New York. Lori Lightfoot, Chicago. Congressmen, you want me to talk about your congressmen, that they are extremely corrupt? Chuck Schumer, Jerry Nadler, Veronica Escobar in El Paso, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Do you want me to keep speaking about the point of this? What I'm trying to say to you, my dear brother Abraham Gastelum, is that or not, we're tired of pointing the finger. I got sick and tired of pointing the finger. I think it's time for us to unite and fix the problem. That's what it needs to be done. And investigate with a task force that it will bring the truth to the people. So the people will know, and it will show publicly who has been behind the corruption of trafficking of children, pedophilia, trafficking of drugs, trafficking of all kinds, corruption on passing policies that they are not even supposed to be passing, but they don't care about the public. They don't care about the people. They only care about how much they're making out of the policy. It is time for people to unite. It is a trickle effect that is a domino effect. I will tell you why. When Nayib Bukele won the presidency in El Salvador, there was hope that every country in Central America and South America can be fixed. You understand what I mean? Then Javier Milei came in screaming, freedom, carajo, libertad, carajo. President of Argentina, and revolutionized all South America and saying, we have a possibility of freedom. Trickle effect, domino effect. And then you put somebody in the north that it will say, make your country great. It's a domino effect. Unity behind all cost. It will completely disposition and put these communist, Marxist radicals into their place. Communism is never going to be a solution for the United States of America. But that's the most important thing. Let's not point the finger. Let's point to the solution. We have been pointing the finger for so long that we don't point to the solution. And that's clear as day. How's everybody doing? God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. We are coming close to the 5th of November, man. For your elections, we have been speaking on these elections for the whole Biden administration, and I've been broadcasting for you guys since 2017, 2018. And I will tell you something. When Trump was president, I covered one single caravan. Biden came in, and I have covered and documented 11 of them. Under the Biden administration, we went into the Darien Gap 4 times. This will tell you, and more caravans are being built. Until now, there's 3 of them under the new president and the new administration of Mexico. It's a complete disaster under this administration. It's a collateral effect. And it's irreparable damages what they have done. This incoming elections, there's a lot of people that need to make the right decision. I'm not telling you who to vote for, although my tendencies are towards one side. But, I'm just telling you, vote with your heart and whatever Jesus tells you. Whatever Jesus is telling you is the right decision. And believe me, the other day, apparently Jesus was kicked out of the building in the Kamala Harris rally. Isn't that normal? You see Jesus being sexualized and insulted in an LGBTQ movement. You see burning of crosses. You see burning of churches. You see churches being insulted. The persecution of Christians. Every mainstream gigantic festival, it is being satanically rubbing through your throats with these shows that they are showing you how demonic they are. How much of an insult are we going to take? This is how, and this is why I have said we cannot be gentle and nice to these progressive liberals. Some of them are satanic. We are told, I don't know if you're Team Satan, but I'm not. I'm Team Jesus all the way. Do we need to be gentle with these people after the complete and progressive insult that they're doing consistently to Jesus? When is the time for us to defend him? He's coming. And when he comes, he's not going to be nice. I'm going to tell you. When he comes back, he's not going to come back like when he did back in the day. Was born in Bethlehem, raised in Nazareth. And he was teaching and he was preaching, Then he got his calling, and he's not going to come like that. When he comes, he's going to clean the house. And he's not going to be nice. So are we ready to defend our Lord and Savior? Really, it's all about that. This guy Obama saying there's no solution for poverty from one day to the other day. I will tell you, there's a saying in Mexico. El pobre es pobre porque él quiere. Pero el pobre puede ser rico en corazón y mente hasta donde él quiera. The poor can be poor if he wants to. But a poor person can be rich until when he wants to. You can have a small house and a shack. And you go into that house and they will be so humble to receive you. This is why I have said multiple times to all the people that they are powerful and they're multi-billionaires. This is why you got to be humble. You have to be nice to people. You never know when you're not going to have anything, then you will knock on that humble door. And if you have been nice, they will open that door and offer you some food. But remember, if you were arrogant, prepotent, and if you denied Jesus, like Kamala Harris just did in a rally, when you want to ask to that door to be open, what do you think is going to happen? So amazing how easy things that we think about, they're the easy solution. There's a solution for poverty. Yes, there is. And it is hope. You bring to the American citizen hope, and they will make it happen. If you plant the seed of hope in an American household, they will make it happen. Where one can eat, three can eat. They will make it happen. If you bring hope to the American people and you tell them, we are going to fix this, they will work their butt off to fix it. You're bringing hope. It will happen. But if you're speaking like this incompetent individual just did and said we cannot fix poverty from one day to another, that's not hope. That's just basically telling you that you're going to get the same teaspoon that you have been getting for the past 4 years. And there's no solution. It is the same, and the same. Thank you so much for joining in. Buy Me a Coffee is right there, pin in the chat. If people want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, I will completely appreciate it. You guys help me a lot. So we're trying to do our best. We're going to be traveling soon. We have a couple of big travels. One of them is possibly go back to Israel. We don't know when. We are still waiting and pending on the for us to go. But we are potentially going to be traveling the next incoming day. So your support is much needed. Thanks so much for joining in. Before I go, and before I give the final thoughts, and before I bring people's comments into the screen, I want to share this with you. And it is this right here. It is the verse of Matthew. My friend Matthew Tomlin told me, Oscar, you're reading the Bible? I said, a little by little, man. I'm trying to get there. He said, start with Matthew, not because it's my name, he said, but said start with Matthew. That's a good one. And I'm gonna read some Matthew right here for you guys. It's Matthew 5:44-45, King James Version. It says, but I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and the unjust. There's a solution right there for you, Obama. There's a solution with your racial division that you just said. Matthew 5:44-45, the King James Bible. There is the solution for you, mother. Matthew 5:44-45, New American Standard Bible. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain to the righteous and the unrighteous. There's a solution for you, brother. Lastly, it is the English Standard Version. You can have multiple version, man. It says, but I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just, on the unjust. God bless you all. There's your solution for Obama. But, he's a non believer. So, of course, you're not going to get a solution with a non believer. What are you going to get? What do you believe in? Science? God bless you all. I will look at a few of your comments. And I will put right here, one comment right here. Oscar, your life is always in danger, and therefore I pray for you to be surrounded with God's protection. Thank you so much. Yes, I have been so thankful to God that He has protected me so much. When I started doing this, I always pray to Him, and I always say, protect me. And in Guatemala, I almost got killed by MS gang members on top of a volcano at gunpoint, broadcasting the natural disasters that they were on this volcano, and trying to get a story. Then I got, my life was threatened by an American progressive activist writer, and I was persecuted, and and I had to change addresses. It was completely disgusting. I'm just waiting on the 5th of November, and if you're listening, after the 5th of November, my story is going to come out, and your name is going to be all over the place. So you will know the harm that you caused and the irreparable damages that you caused, because you wanted me to get killed. That's what you wanted. And this is a progressive, mercenary activist writer that she used to work for the Daily Beast and the LA Times. And, there's irreparable damages that she has caused into my life, my family's life. And all of that has legal consequences. And, we will wait for the moment, the particular moment. Yes, our life has been much different than other journalists that they broadcast in the United States. They have the comfort to not have the security that I don't have that. It's completely different. But, thank you so much for praying for me and doing all that stuff. It is valuable, and I completely appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see another comment. Drinking my coffee right here. Blessings, Oscar. Thank you so much. Kale Coin. Thank you so much. Uh, Squall White. Oscar, you're an absolute true patriot to both my country and yours. True patriots are both absolutely owe you a debt of gratitude. I thank you, my friend. Well, you know, you don't owe me anything. It's part of the job. It's my calling. I understood this when I started doing it. I prayed about it a lot when I was locked up in prison for 4 years. I don't deny it, and I never denied my past. And I repented so much. And sometimes when I was in my cell, I used to pray to God and tell him, send me a message and tell me what am I supposed to do? Use me. Use me for whatever you want to do. Use me. Just do whatever you want to do. I went to college for communications when I was young, never finished it, dropped out. Then I started working, living in the States, committed a mistake, went to prison, got out, deported, lived in Tijuana. Then I was like, what am I supposed to do now? So, I started working, got a couple of regulated certifications on environmental assessments, started studying other languages, got excited to go back to college, graduated from broadcasting school. Then I finished my college. And I started, never stopped working, never stopped. And I said, I'm not going to stop. These people want me out of the game. They want to eliminate me. They want to push me out. Why? Why they're so interested on a 5'8" Mexican? Why they are so interested on a 5'8" Mexican? Why? Why? There must be something. There must be something that I'm pissing them off. I might be doing something right. So I said to God, you know what? Use me, man. Every time that I ride in my car, I'm always talking to him on the side of the car, and I say, use me, man. I'm right here. Do whatever you want. Put me in whatever place. If I had to carry a child in the middle of the Darien Gap, put me right there. If I had to carry a woman that is a migrant, that she has her broken foot, and carry her when, she's coming down on the mountain, put me there. If we had to broadcast when, gunfight between cartel members and the heroic agents of Panama, put me there, put me there. If I had to walk several caravans and show the truth about what's going on, put me there. I will be there. Whatever place in the world you want me to put you want me to go to war and say the truth of what's going on with Israel, put me there, man. You want me to go to Ukraine? I'll go over there. Put me there. Everything is the power of him. It is not me. I don't owe you anything, man. You don't owe me anything. It's a calling. You have your calling, I have mine. And I appreciate everything that God has given me. Every single thing that he has given me, every single word, every single situation which I have been in, I thank him every single time. So I don't owe you, man. We are not in debt with me. We are in debt with God. We're in debt with Jesus. We're in debt with the example of the most beautiful man that ever walked this planet, that is him. That's the person that we are in debt. Nobody else. I don't owe you anything. I just owe you possibly gratitude, appreciation. And when I meet you, I will stretch my hand and say, nice to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Nothing there. We're all coming for the same purpose, to serve, not to be served. We come for the purpose to serve. Remember that Jesus washed the feet of the sick and the ones that had leprosy. Who am I to say you owe me? You know what I mean? Who am I to say that you owe me when the most beautiful man in this planet went to places where people were really sick and he was sent by God and he was washing the feet of people with leprosy, curing the sick, helping the blind, feeding the poor. Like, who am I to tell you, hey, man, you owe me? I'm nobody, man. We're not even worthy to say you owe me. So thank you for your kind comment, but everything that we owe it to him, not to nobody else. God bless you, Mr. or Mrs. White. Thank you so much for your comment. Uh, read your comments right here. There's a guy that is basically commentating really stupid stuff. I will suggest that you stop, or I am going to block you, and I have the power to do so. Uh, you know, grow a pair, really, and start, reading what you're writing. Uh, John, Oscar, muchas gracias, hermano. Muy bueno, mos fima, hombre. Mote bregato. Godspeed to you and yours and the United States of America and the nation of Israel. Yes, we've been in Israel a couple of times. And okay, let me hold on one second right here. Hold on. Hold on. I'm really not going to take the time for these people to be in this live feed and be just like that. I'm just kind of sick and tired of that. I've been doing this for so many years. I'm just like, not today, Satan. So read your comments. I will read your comments. Go ahead. I have like I have 7 minutes. 7 minutes still. If you want to say a comment, go ahead. Oh my God. I blocked 44 trolls today. Cut their paychecks down. Holy moly, man. What the 44? Holy moly, man. That's a lot. Thank you so much. Jack Carr, thank you so much. God bless you, man. Thank you. Uh Late Ka Norcut. We are avid followers of you. Started when you were recording in your car. That was in 2019, I believe so. You are God's messenger. Thank you for you and your family. We pray every night for our country. Mid 70s. Never thought we will be where we are. Going to bed every night chatting with God, who believe we will not give in. No, you're not. And like always, hell no. Somebody just said, rest in peace, Fernando Valenzuela. No way. No way. No way. No way. Don't tell me that. No way. What the hell, man? Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Ah, Whew, man, we look up to this guy so much, man. Let me just put the article right here. Let's Oh man, this is horrible news, man. God rest his soul, man. AP News. Fernando Valenzuela, Mexican-born pitcher whose feats for Dodgers fueled Fernando Mania, dies at 63. Man, rest in peace. Man. Wow, Fernando. Wow, man. We look up to this guy so much. The Mexican born phenom for the Los Angeles Dodgers who inspired Fernando Mania while winning the NLC and Young Award and Rookie of the Year 1981 has died at 63. The team said he died Tuesday night at Los Angeles hospital but did not provide the cause of other details. His death comes as the Dodgers prepare to open the World Series on Friday night at home against the New York Yankees. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred said Valenzuela will be honored during the series at Dodger Stadium. Valenzuela left his color commentator job on the Dodgers Spanish language television broadcast in September without explanation. He was reported to have been hospitalized earlier this month. His job kept him as a regular at Dodger Stadium, where he held court in the press books, dining room before games, and remained popular with fans who sought him for photos and autographs. Oof. Oh. Oh my God. I don't know what to say, man. This is somebody saying Yankees, let's go. That's really out of the line comment right now. What kind of comment is that? Like, I will respect your comment, but oh, Jesus. Sometimes people do not have not even the slight. Okay, I'm not going to say anything. Possibly you said it because you are a fan of the Yankees, Michelle. 63. How young is that? My dad, I think he's 63. Yeah, he's 63. My dad is 63. Yes, he is. Jeez, man. Let me just say right here. So, what about the bad signal? You are cooking, Oscar. I can make out your few miss words. Oh my God. Uh, Somebody saying, there you go. I met him when I was a little girl, and we were on a missionary trip to Mexico. This is before the Dodgers over. Before for the Dodgers over him. Uh, uh Híjole. That's a really low blow, man. We have some Mexican, people that we look up to on the sports scenario. Three of the big ones are, one of them is Hugo Sanchez. That he's a famous soccer player. He played for Real Madrid, the biggest team in the world, and he has been recognized as the Penta Pichichi. He was five times won the award for striker in Europe. Incredible striker forward. The next one was Julio Cesar Chavez. As you guys know, he's a former professional boxer. He went all the way to 89 and 0 until he was defeated by, híjole, I don't remember his name. Uh, but somebody can put his name on the chat list, on the chat right there. I think it was Pernell Whitaker. I think he was. That's two. And the three big ones, it was one of them, it was Fernando Valenzuela. Fernando Valenzuela was, those were the big three for Mexico, the biggest impact sports figures that we have ever had. Of course, Salvador Sanchez, we go back to the boxing and you go back to a lot of things, but Fernando Valenzuela, Julio Cesar Chavez, and Hugo Sanchez has been the trifecta of the best sports figures in Mexico that we have ever had. This is a really sad news. Really sad news. So young, 63, still so young, man. So young, 63. Come on, man. 63. You never know. This is the thing, man. You never know, and you need to be ready. And we need to be ready for whatever it's coming, and you never know. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you all. Stay safe. Uh, I see comments, whatever. I'm gonna stay like 5 minutes more for comments. I skipped a lot of the comments and a lot of the people that they were saying thank yous and all this kind of stuff and a couple of shout outs. Then the Fernando Valenzuela news came in, and I'm sorry if I mistracked the live feed to another information. But rest in peace, Fernando Valenzuela. Let's go back to the live feed. We'll go 5 minutes for comments and whatever a good question, I will read it. If it is a good question, I will read it. But other than that, Dios te bendiga. Miss Maggie, muchas gracias. Dios la bendiga. Usted me saluda a su mamá, por favor. Dígale que la quiero mucho, su mamá. Uh, Go ahead. Go ahead with the comments, questions. Whoever wants to ask a comment or wants to add a comment or a question regarding what we were talking about earlier, go ahead. We got 735 people watching. Do you want me to say it in? I need to say it in English. I'm in an English live feed. If you allow me to say it in English, I will say it in English. Your question is, what are your thoughts on the insecurity in Tijuana? But I cannot say it in Spanish. It's we're in an English broadcast, so it will be kind of like an insult to the American public. Do you believe they are bringing in the young military age? I will not say that word to use it against us. Where are they? No, they're not. No, they're not. Uh, According to the Democrats, the low reproduction level in the United States, it is the reason why they're bringing them, and they're letting a lot of people in. They say that the population of the United States, it is decreasing, it is not increasing. And of course, it's not increasing because the lifestyle of the United States of America is not the way that it used to be. People do not want to have big families anymore. They prefer to have a cat, they prefer to have a dog because the inflation and the situation economically in the United States, it is not as it was before. I that's one of the reasons why they are bringing a lot of men. That's why they say. I have another theory. I have the theory that the globalists and also the Democrats are doing these kind of policies to just to overflow the political party of the Democrats, and they're looking for future Democrats in the long course, and they're going to flood several red states with a mass migration that it will increasingly grow into future Democratic voters, and the Republican Party is going to be overflowed. You're not going to have enough Republicans to fight this off. So it is complete destitution of the Republican Party. That's what I believe. To have one imperialistic political party for years and years and years, like the communists do. So it's kind of like a plan. That's what I believe. Have you seen this second moon where you are? No, I haven't. Are you stressed about this election as so many are? Pray to Jesus and he will take that away. Um, I will go to another question. Luke 21:36. Watch ye therefore and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. God bless you. What is your opinion? What will happen? How you doing, Monica? After the election, of course, praying against evil plans, but just a curious opinion. Something is going to happen. It's not. Hopefully, let's pray that everything will be remain peaceful. And as Christians and Republicans and conservatives, nobody wants a war. Nobody wants a division. Nobody wants to fight. But these are the radicals, the progressives, they Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and they like to rally and they like to destroy and to divide. Of course, if like everybody knows, Trump is up in the polls right now, and he's basically the favorite to win. Um, there needs to be a preparation with the National Guard to make sure in security as they are going to be implementing their law and arrest and as you see somebody that is looting and rioting, come here, you're arrested. There's no pandering anymore. It's law and order. So if something like that happens, they need to put an effort to send a message that this is not going to be like the Harris Biden administration. Mm. It has to do with it, and massively it has to do with it. But it's part of the plan. Yes. Do you feel they're letting all these people through the borders so can get more democratic? I just explained that. I hope that uh, Oscar didn't answer my question about Tijuana. What do I think about the violence in Tijuana? I whenever they ask me questions uh, about my city, I like to be really careful about it because this is where I live, and you have to be really careful with what you say because the organized crime, it is not a circle of people that you want to mess with. So you have to be really careful with what you say. If I can speak about how I have seen the city violently increase, yes, there has been a complete disaster in terms to finding a solution to stop the organized crime. And this has a consequence of a lot of irregularities like kidnapping, missing people, beheadings, and you know scramble parts of bodies and coolers and stuff like that. Vicious kind of situations. It hasn't taken away the peace of the citizens of Tijuana, and it has not stopped them from moving forward and trying to continue working and living their lives. We are really strong people in Tijuana. We have seen all that it's all. You cannot tell us, oh, you haven't seen this. We already seen it, been there, done that. And, we need to take control again of the security of our city. Um, I'm not going to say more because of the consequence of the words. So I hope that I answer your question. Last question. Oscar, you were elected for what? Nobody told me that I was elected. What is your opinion on President Trump mass deportation? Well, I believe that a lot of people are misplacing that he is going to massively deport everybody. That's basically something that it would not, it's not impossible, but it will be him shooting himself in the foot. A lot of the undocumented economy has, is the one that is keeping the American corporations, some American corporations. He's talking about massively deporting individuals who are causing harm to the United States of America. He's talking about massively deporting people who are doing crimes in the United States of America. He's talking about massively deporting people who entered the country illegally under the Biden administration and said that they were coming in under refugee and asylum, and they haven't proven their case of credible fear. And if you have lied about that, so you're an economical migrant, and there's a process for that. That doesn't qualify for you asylum and refuge. They're not denying you to come back. They're basically telling you you are not qualified for refugee and asylum. You need to go back and fix your situation, immigration situation, according to the law on which it is. So I believe that strongly he needs to get out of the global compact on migration first and foremost. That's I have said that multiple times on every broadcast with Real America's Voice News when I'm with Steve Bannon. God bless his dear heart. He's coming out. Whenever I'm with Steve Bannon, I always say, get out of the global compact. And that's one of the things that I have said multiple times. After you get out of the global compact, cut the funding, the federal grants to these NGOs, investigate these NGOs so you will know which is the legitimate one that has helped, and investigate and do audits so you will know where the children are. When you find out where the children are, you will absolutely know what these NGOs have been doing, and then prosecute these people. Crimes against humanity in a federal crime. Uh, Cut the funding of these people, cut the funding of the United Nations in terms to immigration. It's the country that is giving them more money. Nobody else is giving them more money than the United States. I think that about the United States American taxpayer has had enough of sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, uh, you know, billions of dollars to Israel, billions of dollars to the border, billions of dollars to NGOs, billions of dollars everywhere. And the country it is backtracking in debt. So I think that the American taxpayer has had enough. And it is time to build. It is not time to pay to be built. So mass deportation in terms to that, I think that he's referencing to those particular individuals. I believe that is what I believe. The gangs from Venezuela, MS-13, and a lot do not qualify for asylum. 300,000 children missing that cross our border in almost 4 years. Yeah, we're done with this. Yes, of course. Those people that they belong to these criminal gangs like Tren de Aragua and Los Lobos, and also in MS-13 and all these gangs. If they cross the border illegally, they need to be returned back to the authorities or study their cases or why they crossed the border illegally. That's one of the things. And talking about the 300,000 children, that's one of the things that needs to be done. Send a task force to investigate what has happened to all these. And then it's accountability, because the Democrats, they don't believe in consequences. They only believe that they just can do whatever the hell they want. So there needs to be consequences. There needs to be also not only consequences, but there also needs to be a solution for it. So that's what I believe. Kenneth Kirsten says blocked by Oscar's moderators does not end my chat here. Nobody has blocked you. I've seen your comments, but I haven't had the time to answer your questions. If I see a question that I said that it was a serious question, I will read it, Kenneth. So write your question again, and I will try to read it. If it is interesting, I will read it. Uh, Go ahead again with your one last question. I'm 126. I already extended like 26 minutes, and it's never ending. The questions are never ending. So that's, yeah, one of the things that sometimes I extend with my talks, and I go further and further and further because the questions uh, are there any safe places to live out of the USA that you know of? This is a comment that I will tell you. Uh, I will tell you something about this comment, and I'm going to be really polite to you, Miss Summer. I'm going to be really polite. Um, híjole, I would like to be really polite, but I don't know if I'm going to be hard with the answer. I want to be really polite to you. Let me just go like this. Are there any safe places to live out of the United States that you know of? This is a comment of a person that feels unsafe in her country and that already thought about possibly moving out of the country. And this is a seed. And yes, there are a lot of places. Somebody saying nope. Yes, there are a lot of places. But this is a seed that has planted in your country by leftist, progressive, mercenary, activist liberals. And this seed that has been planted in your country needs to be eradicated and completely gone from your country. When that comes, you will not leave your country. One of the things that Americans don't do is that they give up. You don't give up. You always fight, fight, and fight. So don't give up. Instead of asking me, are there any safe places to live out of the USA that you know of? Ask me, how can we make our country safer again? So you will not leave. You will live a prosperous life next to your family, to your children, and possibly later on, you look young to your grandchildren. Americans have fought so many wars, and they never have given up. So don't give up. Number one thing that you need to understand. You'll never know you, Yahoo. Oscar, what is the strategy of the global compact for immigration implementation? Are immigrants even sent to their nation of Israel, to the nation of Israel? Oh my God, that is a really long answer, man. That's a really long, long answer, and that will take me around another 30 minutes. But I'm just going to give you something in a nutshell. The globalists, in particular the United Nations, uh, they're using the platform of humanitarian platform to basically eradicate borders and to completely revolutionize immigration laws and take away the power of constitution and take up the power of immigration law in every country. So they implemented this idea of humanitarian immigration with ideals to migrate that they sound perfectly human and they sound great. But when you try to implement them, it brings a lot of radicalness and unstableness to every border. And there's part of it. It is part of the plan. You destabilize borders. You start by that. And then you bring, the equality issue to every country and to every voter. It's not even about just the global compact on migration. It is the global compact of the environment. It is the global compact of of education. There's a lot of compacts. All of them are part of the 2030 agenda. You need to look at the 2030 agenda so you will understand why this is happening. These liberals are talking about Project 2025 and they forget about the global agenda of 2030 agenda. Where do you have the right to talk about Project 2025 when you look what you're doing with the 2030 agenda? Like, get the hell out of here, man. Like, you don't want Project 2025 or whatever project comes because you want the 2030 agenda to be continuing. So, it's the complete implementation of the global compact on migration has completely brought unstableness to every country. Spain got out of it. Germany got out of it. A lot of countries in Europe got out of it. Look what is happening to France and to the UK. Chile got out of it. Peru got out of it. Bolivia is not in it. Paraguay is not in it. Uruguay is not in it. You have a lot of countries in the South and in Central America that they're not in it. And why? The only countries that have a lot of power, they're in it. And it's a part of the plan. So one of the ways to take away the power of the Constitution and the law and immigration law is to basically create another outlet that has more power than that. And that is the global compact on migration that comes with the humanitarian issue. If you detain a person that is crossing illegally through your country, an NGO will come, a proxy, and it will tell you, hey, why you're stopping him, that is his human right. So the law enforcement and the Border Patrol does not exercise his oath. He has to exercise whatever the NGO, whatever the humanitarian international law says. So it's international law. Look what I just said. International law. That will open a little bit your thoughts on where this can go on 2030. The new international law. So, last question. Oscar Blue, you've been to Mexicali or Algodones, Mexico? Yes. Mexicali is right next to Calexico. Yes, I've been there. Mexico border, Port of Entry, Calexico. Yes, I've been there. It's like Mexico somewhat, but in the USA, Yes, I've been there. It's a matter of fact, it's an hour and 20 minutes away from where I live. God bless you all. Stay safe. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. Buy me a coffee. It is right there for people to want to join in and pitch in and, contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Buy me a coffee. It is right there. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you all. Stay safe. And like we always say, God's plan, it is our mission. Stay safe.